Hi, I'm Deslin.
I'm Austin.
I'm Catherine.
Alright, this is week 11 and we're going to be talking about attitudes. So just starting off, the definition of attitudes is a positive or negative evaluation of something or someone. Three types of components of attitudes would be cognitive,
It's still going.
changes in behavior and language and actions and feelings. In the video we watched about fish, I forgot the name of it. But basically the fishing guys they had a positive attitude about their job. Usually being a fisherman, you can complain about being stinky and then it's always a problem. But then they actually used ELM where the persuasion of the audience, like they had customers come in and thought that it was a great job because all of their attitudes towards that fishing job, no matter the smell, they just enjoyed their trade and they made it fun and made it a lot of tourist attractions, and a lot of people came back to them because they're positive attitudes.
Did you do the?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. The next one is why do people resist change? And I'm gonna give an example of why was the cheese video, which was the first one that was given, and it was on the little people, him and Hall, and then the little mice, Sniff and Scurry. They were in a maze and they went to one spot every day to where their cheese was. Well, suddenly one day the cheese had been moved to a different spot, and Sniff and Scurry had a positive attitude. They accepted the change and they went through the maze until they found the cheese, where him and Hall were very negative about it. Hall didn't want to accept the change. He wanted to stay right where the cheese was to begin with, and he just kept digging for it, hoping it would come back, where him finally realized that his negative attitude was bringing him down, so he went by himself to find where the cheese was. And then, what's the next one? And then what are characteristics in human that may influence attitude and change? That kind of goes along with the video too. Hall had the negative attitude that brought him down, and him. And then he noticed Sniff and Scurry were so positive about it, and that's what made him change and realize that him was bringing him down.
Yeah, just to go back on what she was saying about people trying to resist change, it's more of a fear of the unknown, and that's why Paul was just like, I want to stay here and just settle and wait for my cheese. But once you actually go past that fear, you actually find out that changing, you'll actually make a positive outcome. So that's what more of the video was just lying on.
Alright, I'm going to discuss framing and how it's important in gaining the right attitude. I mean, framing is like really just how you depict it. Like if you put it in a positive way instead of a negative, you're going to have more of a appeal to it. And that kind of ties into like what the problem is, which is how do you get professors who are reluctant to use technology in the classroom to use it more. And it's just kind of like, if you frame it in a more positive way to them, like the benefits of using technology, which would be like, it'd be more organized and all the things that you can do with it. That'd be a really key part, I think.
Professors having more organization, using the technology in class where they can pull up the stuff the assignments on the technical, like an iPad. They can pull up the assignments with the classroom. They can do it together and then submit it. Instead of waiting for paperwork, they can just hit submit and it'll all show up on top of that professor's laptop itself, so he doesn't have to go out his way and keep chasing people down. And then there's really no excuse of why your work is not handed in. It makes the process faster, a little bit more easy, a little bit more clean, because I have a sister that's a teacher, and she went from having stacks and stacks of papers on the side of her bed to just having her simple laptop and just going through files from the past that have been stored and saved in because of that technology. So they should know that. It's more of a fear that they, just like going back in the fear of the changes and the resistance to change, because they don't know. So if they be given like a class to actually just inform them and then teach them how to use the technology, because that's most of the frustration. Once you don't know how to use it, you get frustrated, you don't want to deal with it, and then you go back to your old habits. But if we take the time to show them how to use that technology, there shouldn't be an issue of getting them to actually change over and not be so reluctant when it comes to that new stuff.
So that's week 11.